Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love Season 7 Miami. I cannot remember the number of the episode, but I'll have it right on the screen. So, it is 1:30 in the morning, and I need to be asleep, but I really wanted to get this review done before y'all woke up on Saturday. I really did. So, it is my goal tonight. I don't go to work until later so I can sleep in. I really want to get this done. I really want to get this done. So I'm trying to get it done. Y'all know I watch and review, and I'm trying to get it done quicker than last week. Because what was I talking about, y'all, for 30 some odd minutes? I know y'all sick of me. Y'all are so sick of me. Thank you for rocking with me, because I was talking way too long last review. So let me get to it. So the men meet up. They going fishing. And, it's some innuendos going on. They trying to get some little jokes in. Who they like and who they're connecting with, but they're still fishing to he, whatever. Nephew Tyler Perry shows up to get on our nerves. Oh, I know y'all not out here fishing and didn't invite me. I was like, boy, shut up. So he gets out there and they got to get down to business. It's time to start really figuring out who you like, start making some decisions, because we're going to have this yacht party. And boy, y'all know us black folk love us a yacht party. We might not be able to buy the yachts. At least not us regular folk anyway. But we love to rent one out for a couple of hours and go out on a boat ride. And best believe we love us a party. I have been to a couple. And y'all, this last one, me and my friends, y'all, we was at this boat party in Mexico. And when I tell you, we had to show out on that boat. It had that real cheap liquor that you got to be careful with. We had such a good time. And the whole time, y'all, why I had a sinus infection. The whole trip, I had a sinus infection. I had a little bit of medicine with me, but I'm thinking in my mind, it's Mexico. I can go grab some sinus medicine. I was ashamed. And I was miserable the entire next day, y'all. Cabo does not sell sinus medicine. Can you believe that? All the stuff they sell in Mexico to possibly put you in a coma. And they did not sell sinus medicine, y'all. When I tell you I was up on that boat, I had done got to dancing. I was being people's photographer. I was having me a good time. Whole time, my whole face hurt. At one point, I went and just sat down and just put my hands over my face like, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop going up to the top of the boat. Oh my gosh. Ooh, y'all, I had a good time, but I was hurting so bad. My whole face was hurting. Anyway, y'all, off subject. See, this is why the review was long. Nephew Tyler Perry tells them about this. So he tell them, get your connections together, because one of the ladies will not be returning after the boat party. He also tells them, and y'all make sure you put on your sunblock, not your sunscreen. Y'all black. Nephew Tyler Perry. Now, I don't know how everybody else took it, but I know as for me, I will say I just recently started wearing sunblock. I really did not wear sunblock like that for a long time. Probably in the last 5 years or so, I started wearing it because, I really just didn't see the need. I ain't got no problem with getting blacker. That's just me, though. That's just me, but I know the sun ain't sunning like it used to back when we was kids. This is a different type of sun. It probably is way more harmful to us. So I've been trying to do what the people say, but I be thinking to myself, I don't feel like I really need it. Y'all let me know. Do y'all sunblock it all the time? Because honestly, I don't care. And sometimes I just put it on my face. And that's more so for aging, purposes. But a lot of times I let my body get just as black. I don't care. Because I like it. I don't let me get some cocoa butters going on vacation. Baby, please. I be about to glow through there. Anyway. So yeah, one of the ladies not coming back. So let's get some of these dates off. All right, so our first two dates is Jeffrey and Mark Anthony. One of y'all let me know that I was calling her Justice. The whole review calling the girl Justice. Jeffrey and Mark Anthony, I'm thinking they going to ride horses again, y'all. They going bull riding on a mechanical bull, but it's outside. So Mark Anthony gets on first, and he does pretty good. I definitely was impressed. And then Jeffrey gets on. They don't show much of hers. They really just show her kind of going slow or whatever, I was like, Jeffrey, don't get on there. Don't get on there. It is not, ladies, unless you got a real strong back and a good grip. Don't be getting on the mechanical bulls. I did that. I think it was last summer, and I had a ponytail in. Baby, I was holding on to that bull for dear life, because what was not about to happen was that bull was not about to sling me around and have my ponytail come off in front of all them people, baby. I had my thighs locked tight, and I don't know if y'all ever seen me full body. I think some of you have, if you look at my community posts, but I have some big legs, and so I was holding on by they strong to that bull so tight. Then I voluntarily just got thrown off because it was just making my ponytail was making me nervous. So she gets off and she jumps into his arms. You know, she's real cute. So the conversation they have is what do you want in a man? What are you looking for in a husband? She's looking for a provider, a protector, a confidant. And of course, Jeffrey does have to ask, what about the children? You know, I am a nurturer, and all of that. That's been so much in my life. So I do need that strong person. However, I know that you don't have any children, and, is that something that you can do with the blended family? For a second, I thought that Mark Anthony was about to start talking in circles. I honestly feel like at this point, and please don't nobody throw the daggers at me, I do feel like at this point, a lot of men, especially when they get up on television, due to things that have been going on in the social media realm, are very almost afraid to say that they do not want to date someone who has multiple children. And I can understand why they have that fear right now, because they think they're going to be attacked. But I will always say, I feel like people who do not have children, if they do not want to be with other people who have children, I totally understand. And I have a stepfather myself, but I would understand even if he did not choose us. That's why I'm so grateful for him, child. I get him stuff, buy him gifts and all that. I'm so grateful he chose us. But yeah, y'all. I do understand it, and I can understand why some of the men are a little timid about it. Jeffrey is a beautiful woman, but Jeffrey does come with responsibilities if you want to be with her seriously. And so Mark Anthony does say he's a part of a blended family, and there are some good aspects to that. And there are. I will agree with Mark Anthony there. There are some very good aspects to that. You guys know, I don't know if I've ever said it, but I do have an older sister who is not my blood sister, but we are very close. Like, I don't think blood can make us any closer. That is somebody I truly, truly love and have learned so much from. But yeah, blended families, absolutely, they can work. So he understands it's a lot of responsibility that comes with Jeffrey, but the conversation flows and he's enjoying dating her, he's enjoyed the date with her. Then we go over to Blue and Marcy's date. Now, Marcy, girl, I wouldn't have worn that to the date, but I was like, oh, girl, you better come through. You better come through, body. So she comes through the date, and she got all these don'ts that she don't like to do. She don't like the outdoors, and she don't want to go to the cabin. She don't want to go fishing. And Blue is just like, well, you know, the water, being out on the water is all around us, and it's nature. But what do you think? And Blue does strike me as like a nature guy. So then he was like, well, what about the cabin? She was like, animals. She was like, you don't like any animals? And she said, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm just like, well, Marcia, what do you like to do for fun? Because a cabin trip, you in the cabin. You ain't got to be... I mean, I guess it could happen, but the bear not gonna come knocking on the door to see what you doing. A cabin is actually a very nice trip. For those of us who have been on it, we know that. So Blue was just kind of like, I don't know. We might have to friend zone old girl because maybe they don't have that many things in common. Then she was saying she ain't really trying to date nobody with kids. She don't want to complicate her life. Listen, again, same sentiments here. Same sentiments. I understand it. But of course, you know, these people are in their 30s. So I know that a lot of people, you get in your 30s, people are on their second marriage. People have been divorced or separated. They've had children. They've been in long-term commitments. So when you are wanting to seek somebody without children, it does get a little bit more difficult as you get older. I will totally agree with that. But if that's your standard, then that's your standard. You know, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. I understand why it's being done. I think if I was older, I probably wouldn't want to date anybody with maybe like small kids, like really small, like under 4 maybe. But y'all know I date men with children anyway, because I'm not doing it for you. Get somebody else to do it. But Blue is just not sure if where he's gonna put Marcy, but he does know that she's fun and she's really honest, and so that's a relief. All right, so it's time for the yacht party. Everybody shows up. Everybody shows up but Pratt. Yo, Pratt got COVID. The COVID has gotten to Pratt. I was so disappointed to hear that my boy was not going to be on the trip, because y'all know he was going to come with the extraordinary drip for the boat party. He was going to have his puff in. He was probably going to have 2 tendrils. He was probably going to have a rat tail for y'all in the back, and I know y'all wasn't ready for it. I could not believe that he was not going to be there, you guys. I was really disappointed, because I wanted to see what kind of hair antics that he was gonna show up with. But yeah, unfortunately, y'all, Pratt is going to have to leave, and I don't even remember his real name anymore, because that is solidified into my head. But yeah, he ain't gonna be able to. He ain't gonna be able to make it, y'all. Cynthia's disappointed because they connected really well on their last date. Jeffrey was looking forward to getting to know him a little better, but unfortunately, you guys, he's just. Was it Andre? I can't remember. Y'all know how I am with names. But Pratt will no longer be with us, okay? We hope he heals from the COVID. Now, time to go to the party nevertheless. So Anthony and Cynthia are talking on the boat. I completely forgot about Anthony. When he showed up on the screen, I'm thinking to myself, who is that? So they had to show some flashbacks for it to jog my memory. So he's been wanting a chance to talk to her since they had that little meetup with them. And they have a good conversation. They both have children. Cynthia really needs somebody to understand that she wants the best for her kids. Like, she's putting everything into them. She wants them to be successful. She wants them to have all of the things. Like, she is putting her all into her children. And she tells people often, which I agree with her, if children don't change who that man is, then that is truly who he is, because children will truly change a person. And I had a person tell me years ago that a lot of times once people have children, sometimes you will see breakups, because children do one or two things. They either can bring things closer together that are already, nice and good and fairly okay, or they can show a lot of cracks in something that looks good, but it's not. They can start showing fractures in the relationship. And so that's why some people break up or tend to kind of fall apart after they have children. Not saying you can't get it back together, but sometimes that happens. But I agree with her. I do think it can be different for the men when it comes to their children. And I love a good father. Not those weekend warriors. No disrespect to y'all, but I like a good, active, busy father. Give you something to do. Oh, I like it. I like it. I don't mind you being busy with your kids. Go ahead, because I got stuff to do anyway. I don't want you up under me. But they have a really good conversation, and it was nice. He talks about his daughter and how he feels the same about her. I'm putting a lot into her, and I want her to know that I'm her first love. And they have a real grown up, we got kids and stuff conversation. So we'll see if Cynthia is going to be interested in him, since Pratt is gone with the COVID. All right, y'all. It's happening early. We're at that real strange portion of Ready to Love that we all hate, where it starts to get, I won't say catty, but you can tell people are getting into their possessive bag. So first person I want to talk about is Morgan and Tony. Now, Tony is giving slick. Okay, I'm going to say that. Tony is giving slick. But ladies, what do we always say? We've been saying it since season 1. You got to play the game with Ready to Love. You just got to play the game. Nobody is yours until they're yours. And we have seen it. We done seen it go down to the wire, and nobody is yours. But Morgan is saying that Tony isn't really giving her enough attention. I don't really know if that's true or not true, because we don't know a lot of their interactions off the show. I wish they would do like a Ready to Love kind of behind the scenes. That probably would be cool. Like maybe in between commercial breaks or something. But Yeah, so she says that Tony's not giving her enough attention. I can understand if Tony is giving a little bit of player vibes, but right now, the best thing Morgan can do is make sure she keeps her options open and try to play it as cool as she can. Tony said he not doing all of that now. You really believe that I'm around here telling every woman that I want them? And Morgan was like, yeah. She didn't say yeah. She said she didn't know. Tony doesn't really like the insecurity. He feels it's insecurity coming off of Morgan. He would like for her to be a lot more secure and not feel that way. I think I might be. It remains to be seen, but I'll just wait to say what I gotta say about. Let me wait another episode before I say that. So that's what's going on between the two of them. Also, we have Blake. Baby Blake came with gifts. He said, y'all not finna put him in the bottom again. I'm not at the end of the episode yet, y'all, so I don't know. But he comes with a gift for Sue-Ann, and Sue-Ann is cute. I was looking at her face. I was like, look at her little cheeks. I love those little high, round cheeks. She's just a cute girl. But anyway, he got her a bracelet because he said he felt like Sue-Ann really was, what did he say? Really defended him, really stood up for him, advocated for him. And so he put the bracelet on her wrist, and Sue-Ann was like, oh, well, thank you. It was very sweet of him. Blake, he just trying to make sure he not at the bottom. But then they pass around this little game, and it's like a question game, something messy. So Jeffrey pulls out the question or the suggestion that she gives her strongest connection a kiss, and her strongest connection, or asks for a kiss, and her strongest connection is apparently Mark Anthony. And so Mark Anthony comes over and he gives her a kiss. And I like Mercedes. You played it cool, girl. I like the way you did that, because they put the camera on Mercedes, but she didn't look like she had an attitude. As a matter of fact, I think she encouraged the kiss, if I'm not mistaken. And then Jeffrey was looking all nervous. I said, girl, you asked for the kiss. Don't be acting nervous and shy now. And so he gave her the kiss. And guess who was upset, y'all? Demario said, you really just gonna go full stop like that? Like, that was a big turn off for me. That was a huge turn off. Demario. Every time. See, these dudes on the show they so funny, because most of the time what ends up happening is the men will do things with one of the women, and the other woman will get jealous, and he'll be like, I'm still trying to decide. You have to understand, and I'm still trying to make my decision. I'm still in the process. But if they hear anything about a woman getting a kiss, giving a kiss, giving out hugs, oh baby, they want to know everything. They gonna be done with you. Y'all remember last season with old girl that had gave somebody a kiss, and the other one, he just kept asking questions about it. I was like, child, y'all just Two really can't play that game. Two really cannot play that game. Demario was saying he was upset. And I don't know why Demario reminds me of LeBron James. It's something about the width of his mouth. But yeah, he ain't like that. So I guess he gonna knock Jeffrey out the running, child. I don't know if you was in the running, Demario. So it might not matter. Okay, I'm going to get two little things out the way before we get to what we really need to talk about, right? So, okay, we got Morgan in London. They talk, whatever. We don't need to talk about them too long. Jeffrey and Mark Anthony they look like they together pretty much this entire yacht trip. I'm like, Mercedes, girl, get back in there. What are you doing? I don't know where Mercedes was. You could tell Demario was feeling some type of way that his connection with Jeffrey isn't going the way he planned. So now he is talking to Kabaya, which they seem like they could possibly be a good match. I mean, they're both two very good looking people. They kind of connect on their family backgrounds and their dynamics. He talks about his dad and how his dad has done everything for him and how his daddy has been there for him. Demario really doesn't seem like he has a lot of conversation. I don't know if that's how the show is making it out or if he just really doesn't have much to say. Kavaya, however you say her name, that I always say wrong. She grew up in a low income area. Her mom kind of pushed her to get out there kind of early, but it made her who she is today. So she's actually appreciative of somewhat of that tough love, but she sees that same example in her mom. So they connect on that. And hopefully those two get to know each other a little better. I will definitely say that Kavaya being in the bottom that time, I feel like is really it kind of changed how it's really changed the way I see her a lot. She just seems to be a lot different than that very first interaction. Yes. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of what we need to get to. I choose you, baby. Who chose who, child? Blake comes to get Jeffrey so they can have a conversation. Now, I really wasn't sure how this was going to go. Jeffrey is immediately on the defense, and you could tell. She is just like, a conversation about, oh, I have to leave my comfort zone. Oh, okay. Oh, so we have to go upstairs? Why are we going upstairs? Okay, we're going to go upstairs. Okay, what can I do for you? So Blake is saying some things were said, and I was very hurt by those things, and honestly, and what do you think that I'm speaking of? And she was just like, I don't know what you're speaking about. Tell me what was said. And Blake is just like, I can't really speak on what was said, but I know that those things that what it's just a bunch of back and forth. Like, what did I say? Blake saying he don't really know exactly, but he just knows that certain things were said in a way, and Jeffrey was just like, well, how were they said? What are you speaking about? So you want me to interpret how it is you feel about something that was said, but you won't tell me what was said so I can interpret it. So it's a lot of going back and forth. So you want me to tell you how you feel about something and you won't tell me what it is that was said? Blake finally says, you know what, maybe I should not have had this conversation with you at all. And Jeffrey was like, maybe you shouldn't have. So the conversation really doesn't go well. Blake just lets it go, and she goes back downstairs. So later on, Jeffrey goes up to the dock, I guess you could say the upper deck, and she's talking to DeMario and Sue-Ann. And so she is trying to get to the bottom of what had happened with Blake and how he came downstairs and got her. And they had this conversation where he wasn't really saying what was said, but she was just like, basically, it's just that you were pretty much caught. And Sue-Ann was like, caught in what? Both her and DeMario asked at the same time. And she was just like, caught saying that you chose me, like you were choosing me, that you weren't interested in any of these other women. And it's authentic if I was your choice, but it's not authentic if you're not being real with these other women. And Sue-Ann butts in and says, well, is there a chance that you may have misinterpreted what he said? Because when I told him that you said that and that I was not a pick to him at all, or any of the other women, he said that he had never expressed those sentiments about you, that you didn't even come up as one of his top choices in the lounge. I said, now see what happened to what goes on in the lounge stays in the lounge. See, nephew Tyler Perry, I don't know if everybody is following the rules. So Jeffrey is just saying that Blake did express it that way. Now her and Sue-Ann are kind of talking over each other, and that's when it kind of get jumbled, and DeMario just kind of side-eyeing and sipping his Red Bull. But Sue-Ann is solid in saying that Jeffrey misinterpreted what Blake said, and she can only go off of what Blake told her about, the interaction. Okay, of course, nobody was there but Jeffrey and Blake, but is there a chance that maybe it was misinterpreted? Jeffrey says that Sue-Ann, she says in her confessionals, got on her cape, y'all, and why was they playing the superhero music in the background for Blake? And then it cuts to the men meeting is not the gentleman's lounge, the gentleman's deck, because it's time to decide who gets to stay and who gets to go. And honey, there's some drama there too. Okay, I forgot to mention that Jonique and Tony had a conversation where Tony was trying to get his Mac on, and Jonique ended up crying about how she had been single for a long time. But it was, I get where she was coming from with it. She just wants to know when it would be her turn. I got a lot of homegirls that get emotional about it like that. I understand. But yeah, that ain't what we talking about, y'all. Let's move forward to the gentleman. So they on the gentleman's deck trying to decide who's going to stay and who's going to go. And in the top, Jeffrey does come up in some people's tops. Who else? I know Corvea came up as Mario's top. It don't even matter. Who came up in the bottom is what we're really talking about. And Jeffrey did come up in the bottom, surprisingly, not just by Blake. Some other people felt that way about Jeffrey as well. DeMario now feels like that about Jeffrey, ironically. And then Marcy comes up as the homie for a lot of people. I don't know. I just get the vibe that it might be Marcy that's going. I'm not really sure though, because Corvea has been in the bottom twice, and she doesn't really have a connection with anybody else. And they're not liking, what's according to some of the gentlemen, they're not liking what they hear about Corvea. And the ones who have been out with her says she has a tendency to, just say the wrong thing too quickly. So when it's time to get with the gentleman and nephew Tyler Perry leave, y'all, why Mark Anthony and Demario, they having a passionate discussion about whether or not they're going to use the lifeline. I'm going to have to go with Mark Anthony and some of the other gentlemen on this. You only get one, and I think it's too early in the process to be trying to save somebody. That's just my opinion. We're still kind of in the mixer phase. It's still a lot of y'all left, and Mark Anthony was like, you might meet another shorty that you like better. You might meet somebody else. We only get one. And Demario was like, but when you vibing with somebody, I would do that for any of y'all. We have a strong connection. I'm like, well, Demario, if you feel like your connection is that strong, just leave with her. Just leave with her if she get voted off. I don't really see what the lifeline is. Maybe we'll see in a broader scope what the lifeline is for later. But honestly, Demario, if that is your only connection and you really feel like she's worth a lifeline, then you would just go ahead and self-eliminate after this. If you honestly don't feel like you're going to fall for anybody else, if Corvea has to leave. I personally don't think that's his strongest connection. I think that Jeffrey was his strongest connection. But because Jeffrey wasn't really giving him the time of day like that, and he wasn't getting close to her anymore, he just went ahead and picked Corvea because, she fine enough. So, yeah. But it doesn't seem like she's connecting with anybody else. They don't really seem to care for her that much. So between Marcy and Corvea, I just think it's going to be one of those two. I like Marcy, even though she has her things about her. I don't want her to leave, but perhaps, because even Tony is like, he don't want Marcy to leave. But see, Tony been playing the game like it's supposed to be played. That man he got a couple of connections he could go for. Demario, you ain't been doing it like you supposed to be doing it. And I really just think because you lack conversation personally. That's just me. He's a handsome guy, and I think he's tall, he's cute. I think he's gotten off on that throughout his life. But yeah, so we're gonna see next week who is going to have to go home. Who do you guys think is going to be? Like, comment, and subscribe. It's 2:30 now. I'm about to go to bed. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.